Another fully paid but incomplete flood control structure is uncovered in the Philippine province of Oriental, Mindoro. The project, funded by a 2022 budget insertion, is but one of the many contracts awarded to the now infamous DISCAYA family. Dennis Datu reports.
This flood control project in Barangay Buong Lupa, Gloria Oriental, Mindoro was supposed to be 326 meters long. But when the provincial government inspected the structure, it fell short of the listed specification. Governor Jormelito Bons Dolor, citing records in the DPWH website, said the 50 million peso project was declared completed in December 2023 despite measuring just 186 meters.
Ang nakalagay ngayon sa latest documentation, 80.13% fully paid. Fully paid na. Paano magiging fully paid ng 80%, ganong 186 meters out of 326 meters?
The contractor of the project is St. Timothy Construction, owned by the DISCAYA family. The provincial government is questioning why the unfinished project was marked complete.
Any ghost. Ang sa akin, yung kalahati buo, yung kalahati nawawala. So ngayon, gusto magdugtong. So may bago na ngayon tayong tawag. Manananggal.
The project was meant to serve a protection whenever the Balete River overflows.
Hindi naman sila nakipag-ugnayan kung tapos na talaga, basta iniwan nila. Nung bumaha, yun, may 4 na bahay yung binuhat namin dito para hindi maanod ng ilog. Inabot po talaga. Kung naidugtong po nila, maaaring hindi naabot yung bahayan na 4 na kabahayan.
The government also revealed the project is not included in the National Expenditure Program.
Kahit anong kalkal nyo sa NEP ng 2022, wala ang project na ito. Isang 50 million project na in-insert. Kasabay ng 4 na project sa bayan ng Gloria.
Dolor said St. Timothy Construction returned to the site when the flood control mess became a big issue. However, they could no longer fix the problem because another contractor who had a separate project funded the previous year had already connected their own flood control project to the area. St. Timothy Construction then decided to build the remaining 140 meters on the side of the mountain, a move that angered Governor Dolor, calling it a waste since the area itself already blocks flood waters. Based on the governor's research, insertion for flood control projects in Oriental Mindoro from 2022 to 2025 amounted to 18 billion pesos. Governor Dolor personally submitted a letter to President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. along with a list of the billions worth of flood control projects in Oriental Mindoro, calling for an investigation. The president has reportedly promised to look into the matter. Dolor added they are investigating more questionable flood control projects in Oriental Mindoro, which he is ready to expose. Dennis Datu, ABS-CBN News, Oriental Mindoro.
Hindi tao yung gumawa nito, hayop. Mga hayop ang gumawa nito, hindi sila tao. Para gawin nila ito sa mga kababayan natin. And believe me, itong mga hayop na ito, makukulong yan.
Anger and disbelief from new Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon after uncovering yet another questionable flood control project in Barangay Sipat, Plaridel, Bulacan. According to DPWH records, the nearly 100 million peso dike was declared complete in June of 2024, which was even ahead of schedule. So the contractor, Wawaw Builders, also received an early payment. But when Dizon arrived at the site on Thursday, construction was still underway.
The subcontractor explained that it has only been 3 weeks since they were hired by Wawaw Builders to work on this segment of the dike along Angat River. That's why if you look at it, they still have a lot left to cover.
Dizon suspects this isn't simply a delayed project.
Siguro, 3 weeks ago, umiinit. Nag-iimbestiga na ang Senado, nag-iimbestiga na ang Kongreso, nagalit na ang Pangulo. Pinipilit buhayin yung patay. Wala na to ghost project ito eh.
Those who signed off on the papers, former Bulacan 1st District Engineer Henry Alcantara, his Assistant District Engineer, and the head of the construction section, all of whom are already on the Immigration Bureau's lookout bulletin.
Henry Alcantara, effective today, is dismissed. Bryce Fernandez, JP Mendoza, I will already begin proceedings of dismissal, and next week, I will ask the DPWH legal to recommend filing charges, the appropriate charges.
Dizon also ordered the lifetime blacklisting of Wawaw Builders and Sims Construction Trading, which was previously linked to another ghost flood control project in Bulacan.
Ang hakbang na ito ng ahensya ay alinsunod sa panawagan ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. ng mabilisang pag-aksyon, pagsasampa ng kaso at pagpapanagot sa mga nasa likod ng mga maanumalyang proyekto.
Dizon says pending projects of blacklisted companies will be reassessed, while all payments to them will be suspended. Plaridel residents are also puzzled why this kind of project was even undertaken, despite the town not being flood-prone.
Last na pagbaha po is 1997.
Oh, pero ngayon,
Ngayon po, hindi naman.
Yung tubig sa ilog lumalaki. Pero hindi naman po siya na maabot dito.
But as House Infrastructure Committee co-chair Terry Ridon pointed out, the alleged ghost project was actually a congressional insertion in the Bicameral Conference Committee. Dizon earlier said he can't speak for the legislative branch, but for his part, he has asked for 2 weeks to review the DPWH's 2026 budget and to clean up the agency from within. He says many officials have already submitted their courtesy resignations, including all undersecretaries. Meanwhile, the Senate will summon Commission on Audit Chairman Gamaliel Cordoba next for its probe on flood control projects. 2 more contractors have also been ordered to appear before the Blue Ribbon Committee on Monday, September 8. Andrea Taguines, ABS-CBN.
Welcome back to Head Start. This is Mix Bustos taking over. 3 top officials resigned from the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board after the regulatory body is dragged into the country's worst public works scandal. Johnson Manabat reports.
Philippine Trade Secretary Cristina Roque said an officer in charge has been chosen to replace Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board Executive Director Attorney Herbert Matienzo, who resigned on September 3. This was announced by Roque in an ambush interview in Mikawayan, Bulacan on Thursday. Roque, however, did not name the OIC.
He cited personal reasons in his letter of resignation. So we accepted his letter. He gave us his letter of resignation on September 3, and we have also accepted his I have accepted his resignation on September 3. So we have already appointed an OIC for this position.
According to Roque, 2 PICAB board members have already stepped down prior to Matienzo's resignation. The 2 board members are just waiting if President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will accept their resignation since both are presidential appointees. Roque adds they are investigating the alleged anomalies hounding PICAB, which is now under her direct supervision.
So PICAB, CIAP, and CIAC is now transferred to the Office of the Secretary para talagang close monitoring tayo dito. And we have also established a fact-finding body within the DTI to investigate all of these things.
Roque also clarified that Matienzo's resignation will not release him from any potential liabilities.
Hindi naman natin pwedeng itago to. Kailangan talaga nating to let the public be aware of this. Aggressive po ang investigation namin dito.
The trade chief also vowed to be more stricter in issuing licenses to contractors engaged in government projects.
So definitely before we issue out the license, it will pass through me, and then we pass it through the PICAB board because actually the license is being approved by the PICAB board.
The secretary adds it is up to the Securities and Exchange Commission if the incorporators of the construction firms of the DISCAYA family should be blacklisted or not. Meantime, the DISCAYA CAM said they will file a motion for reconsideration after PICAB revoked the licenses of their 9 construction company. DISCAYA's lawyer reiterated due process was not followed.
So nag-file po kami ng motion for an extension ng 30 days po. So para mag-submit, umokay naman sila. Nagulat na lang kami at unilaterally, kinansila yung mga PICAB licenses po ng siyam na company. Ang pinagbasihan nila ay yung testimony ni Ma'am Sara sa Senate. Iba po yung sinasabi ng dokumento kasi alam niyo naman yung nangyari kay Ma'am, no? Ma'am Sara, medyo pressured na siya. So kulang sa tulog, pagod, dire-diretsong pagtatanong.
Johnson Manabat, ABS-CBN News.